Welcome aboard the Wake Report. Today's episode looks a little different. I'm traveling this week, so instead of our usual cruise news roundup, you'll find this week's biggest cruise headline posted in the community section here on YouTube. But today I want to share a real story that happened just last week involving one of my travel advisor colleagues and her clients. It starts with a missed flight, ends with a missed cruise, includes a $700 scam, and along the way, there are some incredibly valuable lessons that every cruiser should know before their next vacation. So let's get into it. Saturday morning at 5:30, travel advisor Lisa Futrell of the Futrell Getaways Travel Agency received a phone call no travel advisor ever wants to get. Her clients had overslept and missed their 6 a.m. flight to Miami. Unfortunately, this wasn't just another vacation flight. Their MSC cruise was leaving that afternoon. Now, Lisa didn't book their pre- and post-cruise transportation. The clients declined that and only used Lisa for the cruise portion. But of course, being the professional that Lisa is, she helped them as best as she could. They immediately tried finding another flight to Miami. Nothing. Eventually, they got seats on another flight, but that flight was delayed 2 hours. When they finally landed in West Palm Beach, they still had roughly a 90-minute drive to Port Miami. At this point, every minute mattered. Lisa immediately contacted MSC Cruises to find out the latest boarding time. She was told everyone had to be on board by 4 p.m. That became the target. Unfortunately, they didn't make it. They finally arrived at the cruise terminal at 5:25 p.m. And here's the frustrating part. The ship was still there. You could actually see it, but boarding had already closed. Many people wonder, if the ship hasn't left yet, why can't they just let the people on? The answer comes down to security regulations. Before every sailing, cruise lines must submit their final passenger manifest to government authorities, including U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Once that process is complete and boarding closes, they generally can't simply reopen boarding for late passengers, even if the ship is physically still at the pier. So Lisa contacted MSC again. She asked whether they could fly to the next port, Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic, and join the cruise there. The first MSC representative told her there would be a $996 per person late embarkation fee. That obviously wasn't great news, but the story gets even worse. The couple decided to call MSC themselves, hoping someone else might help. They Googled MSC Cruises, found a phone number, called it. The person who answered claimed they were with MSC customer service. They said they could reduce the fee from nearly $2,000 total to just $700. The couple paid immediately, except it wasn't MSC. It was a scam. They had unknowingly paid $700 to criminals. Lisa quickly realized something wasn't right. She verified the number. It wasn't an official MSC number. She immediately shifted into rescue mode. She found flights to Dominican Republic, booked them a hotel for 2 nights, worked directly with MSC, and thankfully, the couple will still be able to enjoy most of their cruise. And one final update, after speaking with MSC again the following day, they clarified that there actually was no charge for boarding in the Dominican Republic. The original information given to Lisa from the MSC rep was incorrect. The $996 fee applies when passengers miss embarkation in one U.S. port and need to board later at another U.S. port, not when the next embarkation port is in Puerto Plata. There are a lot of lessons packed into this story, and here are the biggest ones. Lesson 1, fly in the day before. This is the biggest takeaway. One missed alarm, one traffic jam, one weather delay, one mechanical problem, and your entire vacation can unravel. A hotel night is almost always cheaper than replacing a cruise. Lesson 2, never Google the cruise line phone number. Scammers buy advertisements that appear above the real cruise line listing. Instead, use the number printed on your booking confirmation, the cruise line's official website, or call your travel advisor. Lesson 3, a travel advisor becomes your advocate. Lisa didn't even book their airfare, yet she spent an entire day talking with MSC, researching flights, booking hotels, explaining options, calming everyone down. Imagine trying to do all of that yourself while sitting in an airport. That's where a good travel advisor earns their value. Lesson 4, always travel with a passport. This one saved the vacation because they had passports. They could fly internationally to the Dominican Republic. If they had been relying on a birth certificate and driver's license, which is acceptable for many closed-loop cruises, they would not have been able to board an international flight to meet the ship. Their cruise likely would have been over before it had even begun. Lesson 5, travel insurance isn't about expecting something to go wrong. It's about knowing something eventually will. Most cruises go perfectly, but when something unexpected happens, missed flights, medical emergencies, lost luggage, weather, insurance can protect you from thousands of dollars in unexpected costs. They didn't purchase travel insurance, and now they are out of hundreds to get to their cruise. Lesson 6, stay calm and verify before paying anyone. When people panic, they stop verifying information. Scammers know this. If someone asks you for hundreds of dollars over the phone, especially unexpectedly, pause and confirm you're dealing with the official cruise line before you hand over payment. That 5-minute check can save hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Stories like this are never fun to hear, but they can help all of us become smarter travelers. Thankfully, this story has a happy ending. The clients will still get to enjoy most of their cruise, and they'll be sharing memories from the Caribbean instead of only remembering the stressful start. If you've ever had a travel day go completely sideways, let me know in the comments. What happened, and what did you learn from it? Your experience might help another cruiser avoid making the same mistake. If you found this story helpful, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And while I'm on the road this week, don't forget to check the community tab here on YouTube for the latest cruise news. And until next time, thanks for watching the Wake Report, and as always, happy cruising.